got into the subject matter the other day, we were horrified because we see how much we waste our life versus. But today, though, the good news is that we'll get the solution of how to not waste our life. So, this is we will make an attempt here. So before we begin, and also we're going to go through the bhajan that we just sang. So that's always part of the program now.
I understood it.
You understood the whole thing. Very good.
Hindi, so.
Yes, this is very good. We don't understand this thing, so I have to look at it. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militang Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtang Stapitang Yena Bhutale Svayang Rupa Kadamayang Dadati Swapadantikang Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupang Sagrajatang Sahagana Raghunatham Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitang Savadutang Harijana Sahitang Krishna Chaitanya Devang Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Still, I haven't told you about the morning rules. So the morning rules is Craig, no one under 40 is allowed to be so far back. So only old people are allowed to be back. So Craig always sets the line for us. But now you know the rules, no problem.
I'd like to be far enough forward so I can see where we get.
Yes, that's perfect. However, you set the precedent for us. But if Craig is close, then we always have to be closer than Craig. He has his spot. Craig, he's holding the place for us all, so he's gonna sit in the best place. So before we talk about how we waste our lives, let's get into a little bit of this is like the highest type of moods of our tradition. This is what we sang. I don't know, maybe Divyanchu and Tanu, they know Hindi, so they know all these. But the first thing, Anupam Maruri Jori Hamare Shama Shama Ki Rasili Rasabari Akiya Hamare Shama Shama Ki. So Anupam Maruri Jori is the sweetness of the divine couple. Our Shama Shama is unparalleled. Rasili Rasabari Akiya. Their eyes are so full of ras. Ras is like pleasure, nectar, they're enjoying each other's company so much. We can't even imagine what ras is, there are lower rasas. Rasa means taste, like your rasana is like your tongue, the taster. So there's all kinds of higher rasas and lower ras, but their eyes are so full of the highest type of ras. We can't even imagine the type of pleasure that they're experiencing between Radha and Krishna in their association. So this bhajan is detailing that. So Chavali Hayada Baki Sugara Sudata Madhura Bhatia. Their charming expressions and gestures, their beautiful faces, their sweet talking. And then Lataka Gadana Kimana Basiya Hamade Shama Shama Ki So they're saying their necks gently tilted toward each other, the side of which all dwell in my heart are Shama Sham. Shama is Krishna, and Shama is Radharani. Yes, they're having romantic, dealings with each other. So this is imprinted in the heart of whoever the author is to this Braj Bhajan, which we don't know actually. It's not telling. So Mukuta or Chandrika Mate Adada Pada no Mukuta or Chandrika Mate Adada Padapana Kilali. Their foreheads are adorned with crowns and a special ornament, Chandrika, and their lips are red with tambul. It's like the mouth freshener, the Bedal, but I guess it has our Bedal is it must be red, right?
Yeah, so it's like pan is like a mouth freshener, so it's a pan leaf, and inside that there's some mouth freshening spices like fennel seeds and some. Tambul is like so like whenever you eat it and you chew it, all
it's brown in color, but when you chew
it will become red.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. I actually I'm wondering. I always see in India many people are chewing something and they have like stained reddish brown all over their teeth.
That's not.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Because I was wondering, is everyone chewing this? But I hate the sight when I see that. I'm like, ooh. So
That's not right.
I don't want to imagine that. So thank you.
Perverted version of that. Like it has tobacco and stuff in it.
Yeah, so it's okay. So that's why it has that ugly brown. Yeah, okay, very good. So, and then Aho Kaisi Bali Chavihai Hamare Shama Shama Ki. And it's Hamare, what a wonderful sight, our Shama Sham, but Aho Kaisi Bali Chavihai, and Aho, maybe, I don't know which one is which, but Aho, what a wonderful sight, our Shama Sham. Paraspara mil ke jaba bihari Shri Vrindavana ki kunjana me. I have no words to describe their grandeur when they meet and enjoy their pastimes in the kunjas of Vrindavan. Nahi baranata bane shobha hamare shama shama ki. Our Shama Sham. So it's an incredible sight actually. We can't even imagine. Well, maybe one day we could hopefully witness these things for ourselves, which is part of the spiritual process here. We're hoping to be engaged in service in actually these type of dealings. So anyhow, nahi kuch lalasa danaki nahi nirvana ki cha saki shama kode darshana dayaho shama shama ki. I do not have any longing for wealth or any desire for liberation. So no wealth or liberation. Be merciful and give this Shama Saki your darshan. O Shama Sham. So the author, they want to be a Saki of Shama. They want to be a servant of Radharani. And they're saying, give me your darshan. Please give me your sight. So that's what the aspiration of the devotees and our acharyas are. So this is the highest thing. We don't every day sing the highest thing, but we sang a very high thing today, because that's where we are in the progression. Now, we're going to go all the way back down to where we belong. And that's actually at the beginning of the Bhagavatam. For many of you, it took a long time to get to this point, but I think only me and Parth have, but Craig and Madhav, you guys were here for much of it, but now Tanu and Divyanshu have been here for a lot. And now Deepti is even coming. And Stella, now first time.
I'm pretty close behind you guys too.
Yeah, so you're trying to catch up, no problem. But we've actually made it to the actual Bhagavatam now. So Shukadev Goswami is speaking, and he hits, as soon as he starts speaking, me, Divyanshu, and Parth, we were just struck the other day. Like, oh, my life, it's being wasted. So maybe I'll just share what he said. So first thing he said was, my dear king, your question is glorious. Because remember, Maharaj Parkit, he had asked, what are the duties for all persons in all times and all circumstances, and especially what is the duty for one who is about to die? Which is a very good question, because every day we could ask that question. What am I supposed to do today? And now you'll know. If you hear Bhagavatam, you'll know exactly what it is to do. And so, Shukadev Goswami says, your question is glorious because it's very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists. So, the first thing is we should prepare ourselves to hear the answers to life. If we don't come to a person who has the answers and hear from them, already we have no chance. So this is, by good fortune we have these books that we can study and the commentary of Srila Prabhupada, but also what this should inspire us to do. I think we might have a small leak of milk, Parth. So maybe take care. Madav, you sit. Parth will handle. Parth is expert. So just rip off a little piece or something. So, no problem. So the answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it's approved by all transcendentalists. And then this, and he says, those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of the ultimate truth, leave many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor. So people who are materially engrossed, they want to hear about so many things. What did the celebrities do? What's happening with the sports teams? What's happening in all world affairs, politics, wars, this, that, and the other? They have many things they want to hear. But ultimately, this is all asadvarta veshya, visraja matisarva swaharani, as Raghunath Das Goswami says. These are all mundane or asat, temporary, not factual, not truthful talks. And these are like prostitutes that should be abandoned because they're stealing your greatest wealth, which is your resolve, your consciousness. That's why this is Krishna consciousness, because we have consciousness on this, that, and the other. But this is your greatest wealth. If you could just focus your consciousness on the highest thing, then your mati, your resolve will be fixed, and you'll have your greatest wealth back. So, they want to hear about so many things. But then he says, and this is how such people, and this was the thing that struck Parth and Divyanshu and I, were like, oh my God, what a waste of life. He says, the lifetime of such an envious householder, also we should understand that the persons who are materially engrossed, the words used are the griheshus, grihamedinams. They're the ones who in their home are, trying to enjoy the home. So we should understand, if our place of refuge is our home and trying to enjoy the home, this is us. And guess what? That's all of us. We're all homebodies trying to enjoy home life. So, what are we called? Yes, grihamedis. And what should we do, and we're about to actually have a ceremony to induct Madhav and Stella into what it means to be grihasthas, which is an ashram, this is different. But the persons in such a place, Shukadev Goswami says, are envious. This is our the reason we try to enjoy home, because we have this enjoying spirit and we're so steeped in ignorance. We think that this place and all the whatever mundane pleasures we enjoy here, this is what we're envious of others also trying to. So he says the lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, which that's what people do at night. Especially people who don't really have any spiritual standing. They lots of time sleeping, and then sleeping in sex. And then in the daytime, either in making money or maintaining family members. This is, also how most people, they spend their day. Okay, I got to make money or, maintain my wife, my kids, all these things. So guess what? If this is how we spend our time, which, most of us are doing, this is, the problem is actually that we're steeped with envy. We think that enjoyment is here. And then we're working hard for our enjoyment, wasting our lives for our enjoyment, because we're actually envious of each other, and then the real thing is we're envious of the position of God. We are not, we want to be the enjoyer. We fundamentally do not like the idea of serving anyone else as an enjoyment. So we try to arrange our lives in such a way to be the enjoyers. So we pass our nights sleeping and in sex, and in the daytime making money and maintaining family members. But the spiritualist says something else. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What is that something else? So Shukadeva Goswami, he started by attacking us all, verbally attacking us. But now we must, but it was good. We need the attack because we need to actually not waste our lives. We have this rare human birth and opportunity, so we should be engaged in something higher. So what is that? He says, Deha Patya Kalat Tradish Atma Sainyeshva Satsvapi Teshang Pramato Nidanang Pashyannapi na Pashyati. Deha, the body, Apatya, children, Kalatra, wife, Adishu, and in everything in relation to them. Atma, own, Sainyeshu, fighting soldiers. Asatsu, fallible. Api, in spite of. Tesham, all of them. Pramata, too attached. Nidanam, destruction. Pashyan, having been experienced. Api, although. Na, does not. Pashyati, see it. Persons devoid of Atma Tattva, the truth of the soul and the truth of spiritual life being the prime essence of life, do not inquire into the problems of life. So this is the symptom. If you don't even have any questions on what is it I should do, like Pamaraj Parkit, what is the duty of all persons in all times and all circumstances? If you don't even have that desire to know, then you're you're in trouble. Madhav, you come. No, don't worry. One more pancake, huh? Okay. So being too attached, they do not inquire into the problems of life. Why? They're too attached to the fallible soldiers, like the body, the children, and the wife. So these people, they prioritize over Atma Tattva, the real spiritual essence of life. Oh no, well, I have to take care of my body. Oh no, my children, they're so much more important. Oh no, my wife and her needs are so much more important. So this is the activity of the envious householders, actually. And I'll tell you, we're going to get into it. How do you get out of this envy? This is very, very dangerous, and it's the final thing to go. Even if you conquer all of the senses, lust, greed, and anger, and you've controlled all of the senses, still there will be some duplicity, and still there will be some hypocrisy because you have some desire for recognition or prestige. And this is the last thing to go. And if you could overcome this, you could be free of envy and you'll become a liberated and transcendental person. But not easy. We'll see what the solution is later. But let's see what Prabhupada says. The material world is called the world of death. Every living being beginning from Brahma, whose duration of life is some thousands of millions of years, down to the germs, who live for a few seconds only, is struggling for existence. Therefore, this life is a sort of fight with material nature, which imposes death upon all. In the human form of life, a living being is competent enough to come to an understanding of this great struggle for existence. But being too attached to family members, society, country, etc., he wants to win over the invincible material nature by the aid of bodily strength, children, wife, relatives, etc. So we're here, and we think that even though we understand that birth, death, disease, and old age are here, because we're kind of dumb, we think that, if I make these temporary situations okay, if I can just have a good situation with my children, my wife, my relatives, and the strength of my body, it'll all be okay. None of these things solve the problems of life. None of these things. Yet we spend 95% or more maintaining these things. So this is how 95% of our life is wasted. Now that being said, it doesn't have to be a waste. These things can all maintain the real Atma Tattva pursuit. But who's actually doing? Although he is sufficiently experienced in the matter by dint of past experience and previous examples of his deceased predecessors. So we've watched all of our relatives die and not be successful in these endeavors. We've watched it, and we're watching now. Many of us have older relatives. Some of us are older relatives in this body and in this time, place, and circumstance. So, We've watched their previous examples of his deceased predecessors. He does not see that the so-called fighting soldiers, like the children, relatives, society members, and countrymen, are all fallible in the great struggle. So they're all going to go as well. We don't recognize. One should examine the fact that his father or his father's father has already died, and that he himself is therefore also sure to die. And similarly, his children, who are the would-be fathers of their children, will also die in due course. No one will survive in this struggle with material nature. The history of human society definitely proves it. Yet the foolish people still suggest that in the future they will be able to live perpetually. This is talking about these stupid scientists who are like trying to cryogenically freeze themselves and do so many things to preserve immortality. Not to be mean, so I don't have to call them stupid, but yes, foolish, is it a better word? You know, it means the same. With the help of material science, there's just maybe less negative connotation. But this poor fund of knowledge, that's nice. Those with a poor fund of knowledge, it's more elegant. So anyway, this poor fund of knowledge exhibited by human society is certainly misleading. And it is all due to ignoring the constant... Parth, you don't know the rule? You have to come closer than Craig. Oh, because you're for the offering. No problem. Because I made Stella follow the rule, so you also have to follow. So this poor fund of knowledge... What's that?
No, it's like Eunice here was asking, what's the most amazing thing that
Yes.
people act as though they're going to live forever.
That's it.
And you get caught up in this whole thing of wealth and family and all that,
And then...
you do it with the idea that we're not going to die.
Yeah.
But that's for other people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just for the old people. Until you become old. You're like, oh crap, it's for me too. This is how we waste our life, actually. We waste the whole thing because we don't realize what is actually the point of this. That's why in the verse it was mentioned, Atma Tattva, understanding the truth of the Spirit. If you don't do this with your whole life, you're wasting your life, actually. If your whole life isn't devoted to understanding Atma Tattva, who you really are and what really is important to life, what is the duty of all persons in all times and all circumstances? Wasting of the life. So if you don't know that and you're putting all these things in, what does he say? The infallible soldiers, like your body, your children, and your wife, and making money during the day and maintaining family members and sleeping and having sex in the evening. If that's what your life is devoted to, you have a poor fund of knowledge. It's more elegant. And you're wasting your life. So don't waste the life and don't have a poor fund of knowledge. Prabhupada is helping us right now. So This poor fund of knowledge exhibited by human society is certainly misleading, and it is all due to ignoring the constitution of the living soul, who we really are. This material world exists only as a dream, due to our attachment to it. Otherwise, the living soul is always different from the material nature. The great ocean of material nature is tossing with the waves of time, and the so-called living conditions are something like foaming bubbles, which appear before us as bodily self, wife, children, society, countrymen, etc. So we put so much prominence, how our body is looking, how fit, thin, skinny, fat, everything that's going on with our body. Then our wives, everyone here is likely to have wives or husbands. This is the most important. Is my wife happy? Anyone who's married will know it's impossible. You cannot fully make a wife happy. And for wives, it's impossible. You will not be ever fully happy if you have the material conception of life. But your wives, and for husbands, for women, for husbands, your children, and the society around you. If these are enveloping your consciousness, know you have a poor fund of knowledge, and that you don't know the actual purpose of life. So, due to a lack of knowledge of self, you don't even know who you are. We become victimized by the force of ignorance, and thus spoil the valuable energy of human life in a vain search after permanent living conditions, which are impossible in this material world. Yes, we all want to be happy. We all want to have a permanent happiness. So why are we seeking temporary things for permanent happiness? Does it make sense? How can something temporary ever give you permanent happiness? It cannot, because it's temporary. But we are seeking, and we spend all of our time in temporary pursuits So what you're looking for, the steady happiness, which everyone is looking for, is impossible in this material world. Impossible. So what to do? Madhav, are you ready? You have how many more pancakes?
That's the last one.
Don't waste your life, Madhav.
With
The offering is there. Don't worry, you can make the pancakes later. Our friends, relatives, and so-called wives and children are not only fallible, but also bewildered by the outward glamour of material existence. So then, all those we're wasting our life trying to maintain, they don't know reality, and they're pulling you even further. They have the glamour of temporary things in the material world. So then they're prioritizing, and then you have to take their priorities into consideration, and then next thing you know, you're just dragged into it. You're just being dragged around the material world. Especially if one is too attached to these things. You're like if you get hooked by a fish, the hook comes up in your lip, like a fish gets hooked, and it's like, and it's just being dragged around in the material world. Wherever the fisherman wants to take it. So this is our relation. This is the relationship of being attached to others. And it's not just your husbands and wives. It can be your relatives. It could be your family members. It could be all these. Don't be dragged by them. Be dragged by Krishna. He's trying to drag you in the right place. And then we also mention the Lord has special favor on your relatives and family members. This was mentioned in the last Bhagavatam class that we were talking about. So the Lord, don't worry, He'll take care of all of them. Especially if you become His devotee, He'll drag them up with you. Even if they don't want to go. Don't worry, they have no choice in the matter. Because, they're someone connected to them has made it into the Lord's grace. So now there's no stopping it. That mercy will also come to them. So, and as such, they cannot save us. Still, we think that we are safe within the orbit of family, society, or country. So as long as I'm with my family, as long as I'm well placed in society or my country, I'm balancing juggling all the proper things, I'll be okay. No, you're not going to be okay in this material world. It's not okay. This situation is not okay. We should know that, actually. But what can make things okay is actually who we really are. So he says, I love this. The whole materialistic advancement of human civilization is like the decoration of a dead body. He's making fun of also the Western funeral. Don't block Stella out from here. So, yes. So this is like the decoration of a dead body. In the West, when we bury people and things like we decorate their dead body and we sew their lips shut and we put a suit on them and we put all these things like that. So, but actually, it's a useless thing. And we pay good money for this too. People make very good money. So anyway, everyone is a dead body flapping only for a few days. That's very nice. And yet all the energy of human life is being wasted in the decoration of this dead body. So it's not just what they do at the funeral parlor that's a waste of time. Everything that we're doing for this body is practically a waste of time, actually. You're just decorating a dead body. Actually, your body is dead. The only thing animating it is the living soul. This is a dead body. If you want to test it, chop off your finger. And then see how it goes. See how alive it is. It will not stay alive. It has nothing to do with you. But we put so much prominence on the body. Ladies with the makeup, men with the gym. We gotta pump it up, make everything look good. But actually, for all intents and purposes, this is just decorating the dead body. It's wasting the life and wasting the time. Your body is useful though. Because you can use this body. Pokapat using his body right now in devotional service. All of you have used your body to come and be in devotional service, practicing this process of Krishna consciousness with us here this morning. This is proper use of the body. What is it? Let my feet be used in holy pilgrimage. Let my thought be remembrance of you. Let my words be glorification of you. All this is how you use your body. All for the Lord's service. Otherwise, it's a waste. So, Shukadeva Goswami is pointing out the duty of the human being after showing the actual position of bewildered human activities. Persons who are devoid of the knowledge of Atma Tattva are misguided. But those who are devotees of the Lord and have perfect realization of transcendental knowledge are not bewildered. All right, so just a quiz. In the daytime, what is the waste of the human life? What are the activities of wasting one's human life? Making money and maintaining family members. And at nighttime, what is the waste of a human life? Sleeping and sex life. Okay. Now, you don't have to call out your answer, but if we actually study our life, what is the percentage we're wasting our life? You might find it's high.
100%.
Oh no. This is problematic, right? Yes, many of us are high. It's not 100% because you're here. Reading Bhagavatam is not 100%. This is a good activity. So you're not doing all bad activities. But how often are we actually engaging in devotional life? How often are we engaging in processes of Atma Tattva? Even understanding who we are. We're not even talking about the Supreme Lord yet. Just even understanding, who am I really? So this has to be, we need to spend time inquiring into the deeper mysteries of life and understanding, studying these things, acting accordingly. If we don't, it's just wasting the life, Oh, I have a good job. Oh, I have a good wife. Oh, I have a good little child. Oh, I have a good home and everything. This is all just decorating dead bodies. This is a waste of your life. Your real life is how much time are you spending in really understanding Atma Tattva and acting accordingly. So, what is Maharaj Parikshit doing? He's hearing from sages. He's hearing from saints. This is actually how we should spend our life. We ourselves will need to get connected to high-class saintly people and hear from them, and they will tell us what to do. This is how you not waste your life. Every other consideration, fine, you have to maintain your body. Fine, you should also maintain your relatives. It's a laudable thing, to a certain degree. But what are you maintaining for? So that you all can do the main essence of life. So you can all hear, from saintly people and understand Atma Tattva, these deeper truths of life. If you're maintaining, but you're skipping out on all the good activities just to maintain yourself, you're just wasting your life. It's all, no time for, this, Prabhu, I've got so many work obligations. I've got so many family obligations. I've got house obligations, this and that and the other. You're pretty much what you're saying is, I have no time for self-realization because I'm ignorant and I'd rather waste my life. That's actually what we're saying without realizing it. But we can't waste our life. And we can. Actually, 99.99999% of living entities in the material world are very happy wasting their life. And the material world is actually meant to allow the living entity to waste its life. That's what it is. It's a prison. You don't have the good consciousness? Okay, you could sit here and waste your life in a dream. Why? I don't know. Because we're ignorant. But once you do know, why would you do it? Why would you just sit here, be committed to wasting your life? And if you don't fully know, just look what's being said. Does it make sense? Yes? It makes sense, right? That temporary things can never give a stable set of satisfaction, and that's what everyone is looking for. We're all I just want to be happy. That's why everyone does everything in life. Maybe this will make me happy. Maybe this will make me happy. But you don't know where happiness will come. But the saints, they know. That's why they're so mercifully. They put so much struggle. You can't even imagine. While we sleep at night, while the world was sleeping at night, Prabhupada was up all night translating Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada was putting so much struggle. Even, not really well known, but even at some point later in his years when his body was failing on him, he was just like jacking up his body. I shouldn't really tell you this, but it's true. I'll tell you. He would even snuff tobacco to just stay up and continue this work because he didn't have much time left. In the later years. Because the saints and the sages, they're not going to waste their life. And he already reached perfection. He already reached Siddha, the stage of perfection. He was able to see Krishna at all times, in all places, all circumstances. This is Prabhupada. This is not just Prabhupada, this is those who are Siddha, accomplished in their spiritual life. We're not yet there. But We should understand this is the point of life. To be able to see the spiritual truth at all times, all places, and all circumstances. And to the degree that we make some endeavor and we serve Krishna's representatives, then those revelations will come. To the mood of service arises. It's good. That's why there's many things, Raghunath Das Goswami, but the essence is this: even if you finally conquer all of lust, greed, I'm not having sex anymore, I'm not doing this, that, and the other thing, I'm fully controlling my senses, even if you conquer all of that, you have no chance against the final boss. Do you know what the final boss is? What's that? It's envy, but what is
Ego.
yes. And what is the symptom of the ego? What's the final boss? What does it want?
Pride, because it wants to be known.
Yes, it wants to be recognized. It wants to be, look at me. Look at me. I'm special. Look at me. Look at me. Don't look at them. Stop looking at them. Look at me. That is the final boss. And do you know the only solution from this?
To take shelter of one who's free from it.
Yes, but not just take shelter. There's a certain activity that needs to be done. Raghunath Das Goswami, he says, Pratishta shadrishta swapacharamani me hridinate katham sadhu prema sprishati shuchir etan nanu manaha sadatvang sevaswa prabhudaitas samantang atulang yatatang nishkashya twaditami hatang Veshayati Saha. So what he's saying is that the desire for recognition, pratishta, the desire, pratishta shadrishta, the desire for pratishta is shamelessly. And actually, people are shamelessly desiring pratishta. They are, like all these sports stars, I just want to be the best, and they're all like, they're talking trash. Oh, you suck, but look what I did, and like that.
Well, even Arjuna, he was told he was the best archer.
Yeah, I mean, and he was, but Arjuna, maybe there was some pride, at least exhibited, but he's also a pure devotee of the Lord, and that wasn't his driving force. His driving force was to always please Krishna. Yeah, but because he was in the material world, there are some, symptoms.
Or Bhima with his strength.
Yes. And it's true, actually. If we prioritize these things, it's the final boss of Maya. We can overcome all, I'm fully controlled, I'm a yogi and this, but still the desire to be recognized, the desire to be accomplished, this is very difficult. The desire to be great and known for their greatness. Whether you're a great, family person, I have a great family, whether you're a great in your career, whether you're great for your singing, great for your musical instruments, great for your strength. It doesn't matter. All of these desires to be recognition is the final boss of the false ego. And the only way to overcome it is, so what we said, what is this like? It's like a swapacha ramani. It's like an outcast woman. A good example for, say, Syracuse would be like a grungy homeless woman down there, and she's just shamelessly dancing. So, may hridinate, in your heart, in his heart, this shameless desire to be great, to be recognized, is dancing in my heart. But then he's saying, katham sadhu prema. How can the love of the sadhu? How can actual, Krishna prem, sadhu prem? How can that come? Sprishati, how can it touch? How if this woman is dancing in this heart, just like if you had a priest in your whatever tradition, but all of a sudden at the you wouldn't bring a priest into an environment where you wouldn't bring a priest into a strip club. So if you invited a priest to your home, if one of your relatives decided they wanted to set up a strip pole and do some stripping dance thing, everyone would be horrified. Please don't do this. This is not a place. So he's saying here, how can sadhu prem? How can the love of the sadhu? How can it touch us in such an impure place? If this shameless woman is dancing in my heart, how can the love of the sadhu come in my heart? So that's what Raghunath Das Goswami is saying. And so he's saying, Sada, always, Tvam, you. He's talking to his mind. Sevaswa, serve. Prabhudayata, those dear to the Lord, those dear to my master. Samantang atulang, the commanders, the incomparable commanders in his army. Who? His, like the acharyas, are the saints, the sages. Unless we serve them, and then he says, Yatha, as a result, that shameless woman, Nishkashya, will be driven out. Twaritam, very quickly. Iha, here in this world, Tang, Veshayati Saha. And that sadhu prem, Veshayati, it can enter. That's the only way. Unless you are serving a saintly personality, very, very deeply, your life is 100% committed to service. That's the only way you can beat the final boss. So what service are we doing with our life? What rendering of service? Because a lot of times we do service. I'm making a great feast for the Lord. I'm not picking on you guys. But we can make a great feast for the Lord. But if there's any tinge of hope for your own enjoyment, it's not full pure service, right? Like this. Oh, I'm raising a nice family for the Lord. But if there's any tinge for how I'm, my relationship in my family, for my own personal enjoyments, acquiring money, having some sex life or this, that, and the other, is it really pure service? Is it really service? Is it pure bhakti? Absolutely not. Right? So until we actually render service unto the saints, and it's not just like, all right, well, this is what I'd like to offer. We ask, what should I do? What are the duties for all times, persons in all times, all places, and all circumstances? What should be done? And then we have to take their advice and act under their guidance. This is bhakti. This is how you won't waste your life. But if you're just kind of the boss of your life, life will be wasted. And you'll never conquer the final boss. But if you take the guidance of the saints and the sages, life will not be wasted and you'll be actually engaged. To hear from them first, inquire, and then render service based on what they tell you. Otherwise, life is a waste. And the duplicity of, yes, I'm in bhakti now. I'm rendering service to the Lord. Krishna knows what's still lingering there for your own enjoyment. He knows what's behind the scenes. He knows it's not a pure offering. That's why he's not attracted. If he was fully attracted, he'd come. Because Krishna actually can't refrain from prem. When there's actual prem or like pure love for Krishna, he can't control himself. Where he will even transcend dharma over and over. He will not transcend, in a sense transcend, but he will break dharma over and over again because he's just so controlled by that type of prem, that type of love. So we should hear about that type of love. We sang the bhajan about the love that Radha and Krishna are sharing. And we pray to be engaged in service in that type of love. But in order to do that, we have to overcome the many obstacles. And then the final boss is the false ego, trying to be recognized. Like, yes, I'm in devotional service. And look at myself. Oh, I'm I'm the leader of an ashram on Facebook. Just see what I'm doing, everyone. You don't think these things can come? You don't think these things are in the mind? This is in everyone's mind. They want to be recognized for what they're doing. This is the conditioned mind. But actually, this is nonsense. Even if everybody recognizes me, oh, you're such a great devotee. Okay, but if you look in my heart, I still am not. I'm not immersed in prem. I'm not experiencing Krishna. Why? Because he's not attracted. He doesn't care. Even if I set up hundreds of facilities and many people take to basic levels of Krishna consciousness, but if the intention to do that is for my own recognition, it's a loss. There's no, So we should understand, why are we doing service? Oh, he's giving class. Oh, look, this person's being benefited, this person's being benefited. Some benefit is coming to others. Look at that. But look, these people online are looking. Oh, look, they see. He knows how to chant a verse. He knows these things. You don't think this can ruin the consciousness? This does ruin my consciousness. This does ruin our consciousness. All of this, you see how it's the final boss? Where we want to be recognized? how good we are at this instrument, how good we are, we know this, that, and the other thing. Oh, I do this every day. Pride, being proud. Why? Because actually, what Shukadeva Goswami said, we're envious. And who are we envious of most? Krishna. At the end of the day, we want to be the enjoyer, we want to be the controller, and we want to be the knower, the doer. But actually, that's not our position. And if we can serve Krishna's representatives who have been free from that, then we too also can be free. But if that desire doesn't even arise, as most people's desire, no, I they waste their life with other desires. I got to maintain my family. I got to do this, and at nighttime is for sleeping and sex. I don't have, time for all these devotional activities in my life. It's too much. They'll waste their life. And so,
isn't it proportionate though? I mean, it isn't just black or white.
Yeah, it's a process. So you could say it's white. We're looking for that pure Krishna bhakti.
That's the goal, but
yeah.
It is a process.
Yeah, it's a process. It's not going to, I'm not trying to make everyone feel bad. But we also should kind of feel bad that I'm still quite dirty, And it's not just, we're all in the process. And please don't think that, he's giving the class today, so he's talking about these things. So he must be way at the finish line or something. No, I'm like right along. We're all going together, and we're in trouble unless we find saintly persons and serve them wholeheartedly and make our life an offering to them, to Krishna ultimately, because it's Krishna's representatives in this world. And then, in the process of doing that, we'll actually achieve something real. And
early on in my introduction to consciousness, especially with Janeshwar,
yeah,
he was very one of these people that do things 110%. So when he went to the temple and shaved up and wore dhoti and chanted rounds and all that, I thought, well, if I can't do that, then what's the point?
Yeah.
So, but I learned later on it is a process.
That's right.
Because at first I said, well, then forget it.
I can't live up to that standard. Yeah. So it's a process, and that's a good point, because any journey starts with the first step. So if you want to go somewhere, and we want to go to this sadhu prem, we want to be in this pure love to enter our heart. But we've got all these obstacles, and it looks insurmountable, and I can't do this. Oh my God, what's going to be done? You might just say, well, I just give up. I just belong to rot in the material world. I'm an envious, home-loving, family-loving, wife-loving, sex-loving, this loving, that, children-loving. I have no shot. No, it shouldn't be like that. We should understand, no, look, this is where we need to go. And yes, it'll be a tough journey. And it's lots of struggling on the journey. But if we take step after step after step, and whatever obstacles are there, we take the solution. That's why the Manashiksha is very nice, because Raghunath Das Goswami, he takes you through each obstacle, and then he gives you the solution. So what's the solution for the final boss? Saints who are free from their own prestige if we serve them. But maybe we got to go all the way back to the first verse. Guru goshte goshtalayi shisujane basuragane swamantre shrinamni vrajanavayuva dvanva shadane sadadambang hitva kururatima purva matitarang ayeswanta bratashchatubira biyache drita padaha. So the first verse is to give up. Sadatvang Sada dambang hitva. Meaning your pride, give it up. Give up your pride of thinking anything else is worth. Sada dambang hitva kururati mapurva matitaram. He said, give up your pride and develop unprecedented, never before in your life seen, intense attachment to what? Guru. Your guru. Who is your guru in your life? And you might have a Diksha guru, but actually you have you might have a Vartma Pradarshika Guru, one who's showing you the path, the way. Your Diksha Guru, of course. And the main and most important Guru, who is the Guru giving you most shiksha in your life? So Guru, develop this intense love. Give up your pride of what you're prioritizing, what you're wasting your life prioritizing, and develop attachment to your Guru. And that could even mean for, for a wife, that could even mean her husband. That could even mean, for a husband, it could be like a dear mentor. Maybe the Diksha Guru is not always available, but there's a mentor there that's always helping. It could mean so many different things. But who is acting as Guru? But ideally, a pure Guru. It's the one who has sadhu prem. But it's a process even to be able to recognize such a personality. And then, but even if you don't, Guru, what else? Goshte, Krishna's holy pastime places. You should take a pilgrimage at some time. Everyone should take a pilgrimage in their life. If you can, you can do it. Even one of my Shiksha Gurus, he's always organizing every year pilgrimage for everyone, and anyone can do it. So no worries. If you want to go to pilgrimage, we'll facilitate for you, no problem. Goshte, Goshtala the residents of such a place, especially the Mahabhagavats, the great personalities in those places, because this is where the great personalities reside, in Krishna's holy places. Unless they're out on a preaching mission, this is where they all go. Even Prabhupada, this is where he reached perfection. His siddha perfection, or the pastimes of such in this life, were when he lived in Vrindavan for some years. And then at some point, he was ready. He was inspired by Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur to give his very life to the order of Guru. And his Guru ordered him to go to the West. So he said, I must figure out a way to go. And he did. And he went all over the world. But he brought everyone back to Vrindavan. Sujane Busoragane. Also the Vaishnavas in such a place. We should find the Vaishnavas, the residents of Vrindavan. Actually, anyone who's lived in Vrindavan, hopefully actually fully immersed, even for 12 days, by the scriptures is considered to be a Vrajavasi in some way. So even somehow or other, I don't know if me and my wife actually fit the bill, but we've stayed in Vrindavan for 12 days. I don't know if we actually were immersed. But even that, there are many of the Lord's Vrajavasis wandering the earth, preaching the Lord's glories. So we should always seek those persons, especially if Guru is not available to us at that time. And then Basuragani, even the Brahmins, who are, especially the Brahmins of the Dham. These personalities, remember Raghunath Das Goswami, he's a Bhajana Nandi in Vrindavan, and he's only speaking about the things to do in Vrindavan. That might seem out of touch for us. But then what else is giving? Swamantre. Our mantras. It's very important we get initiated and get these mantras. And not just, I got to collect mantras, so what's the nearest guru who's giving mantras? No, it's an actual personality who's deeply connected, and they are going to deeply connect you via that mantra. They have the relationship, and they are going to establish that relationship in you. So they give certain mantras. This is Diksha. Not easy, to actually, and Diksha is a process. It's not just like, I received Diksha on this day, I'm perfected now. No. Diksha is a process to actually establish one's relationship, and it takes every day absorbing yourself in your mantras and absorbing yourself in your thoughts of the Guru. And it also requires that your Guru is a perfected person as well. And then he'll give you perfected mantras. So then, Srinamni, the holy name. We can all do this. Everybody can do this in all times and all circumstances. Take the holy names seriously in your life. Chant the holy names. Everybody can chant the holy names, even if you're, okay, I'm doing 8 rounds a day. Okay, continue doing 8 rounds a day and then work up. Maybe I could do 9 rounds at some point. All right, I'm doing 16 rounds a day. You've done it. All right, I'm finished. I give the basic requirements. Actually, no, we would not stop there. We'd also, okay, I'm going to absorb this in my life. I'm going to develop a taste. And then eventually you would want to even do more than 16. But start where you're at. 1, 2, but take the holy name seriously. With this, we have to give up our pride oh, this is much more important, or even if we say, oh, I can't do that, that's still pride. It's like a reverse pride. My ignorance, my false ego is so great that all of Krishna's processes of bhakti, they're useless in comparison to my false ego. This is like a reverse pride. But no, nobody is so great or you can overcome bhakti. No one's false ego is so formidable. Just be humble and just take to the process. What's the process? Chant the holy names. Chant. Join in your local community. This is the process here. And work on the process. It's a process. But join the process. Take some steps. That's what a journey requires. I'm taking steps. Not as, all right, I've done enough. Let me pause. No. Keep going. Keep stepping. Don't say, no, I've done enough. I need a break. Yes, you might need a break. No problem. Everyone on their journey, and you got to stop, bathroom break, relax. Okay, catch your breath. And then you keep going. But don't stop. Never stop. Never say, oh no, I'm going to try and get comfortable on the journey here. Let me settle down in house life, family life. No. There's no solution here. Prabhupada is just telling you, have to keep moving. Keep moving. Did you ever, there's like a video game that everyone used to play on the phone called Temple Run. Did everyone ever see?
Yeah.
And so the person's running, and behind them the whole course is like getting demolished, or they're getting chased by a ball. You got to keep moving because you're going to get crushed if you just stop and pause and like, no, let me stay here. No, death is going to come, old age is going to come, you're going to get crushed. The whole thing's going to fall apart. Don't stop. Keep moving. So this is what he's saying. So let's read at least one or two more verses here, because then I have to prepare for another class with Parth's friends, which is very nice that you've done that, Parth. He's organized a class that he's going to be leading Bhagavad Gita. I don't want to, flatter your Pratishta too much, but he's done a good thing where he's, organized a group with some of his friends in the past, and he's going to study Bhagavad Gita with them. And in this process, he will be purified, because it's the process of kirtan. He's heard enough Bhagavad Gita, enough Shravan in his life, where now he's engaging in kirtan, or he's sharing it with others. And this is some of the steps. Even here, what I'm doing here, it's not like I'm perfectly realized in Bhagavatam. I'm studying it with you guys. But the chance to, relay what I've heard on Bhagavatam to you guys is kirtan. And guess what? When I share these verses with you, you might get it. Maybe. But who's going to get it? I'll get it. Because that's the point of kirtan. It's like, even if nobody else is getting it, and it's practically ineffectual, but I'll still get it. So this is the process of kirtan. But first we have to do Shravan. We should hear. And then when we've heard enough, then we have to start arranging for circumstances of sharing. Like Madhav really wanted to share much of what he learned, so he invited Stella into his life, and he's teaching her many, many things, I'm sure. Also she's the woman is the fairer sex, so she's also illuminating many more levels of purity that especially a conditioned man is realizing, oh no, I should be better than this, I should do more. So like this, they're purifying each other. Hopefully in marriage that's the case. They take to not grihamedi life, being people who are trying to get comfortable in the home and trying to get comfortable in wealth, family, and children, but become people who are trying to get comfortable in service to the Lord together. But I think that's the great hope, which is why they're getting married the way they're getting married. So, let's read one more verse, at least. But just to finish that thought, we have to give up our attachment to the mundane things, and we have to develop real attachment for the transcendental things, like Guru especially. But all of the transcendental things, Guru and the Holy Name are, the Holy Name is the most easily accessible. So take the Holy Name. If you have nothing else in your life, I don't have Guru, I don't have any experience in the Dham, I don't have any relation, anyone in the Dham, you all have the Holy Name. So at the very least, take the Holy Name. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Chatabayam Tasmat for this reason. Bharata, O descendant of Bharat. Sarvatma, the super soul. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishwaraha, the controller. Hari, the Lord, who vanquishes all miseries. Hari means to steal, so he's like going to steal your misery away. So that's good news. Shrotavya is to be heard. Kirtitavya, to be glorified. Cha, also. Smartavya, to be remembered. Cha, and. Ichata, of one who desires. Abhayam, freedom. Also means fearlessness. You know, this is also Bhaya, Vrajajana. What is it? Bhaya Hari, the one who steals the fear. Bhaya, from all of the residents of Vraj. It's the name for Krishna we sing in the morning. But Abhayam is freedom, but it's also you're going to be freed from fear. O descendant of King Bharata. And actually all of our miseries are it's like Vaikuntha, right? What means what? Divyanshu, you know.
Vaikuntha means the spiritual planets.
Yes.
It means free from anxiety.
Yes, Vaikuntha, you know, becoming free from kuntha, anxiety. You know, the place beyond anxiety, right? So, this is why we're miserable. We're not actually miserable to the actual thing that we're suffering. We're miserable due to the fear we're experiencing of this thing. You know, like, right, you're maybe uncertain about your job or your where you guys are going to even be in a month. No one knows. I don't know, you don't know, nobody seems to know. But like, we're in anxiety, we're in fear. Actually, one who desires to be free from all miseries, especially the fear we're experiencing in life, must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. He's Hari, the one who steals those miseries. That's the name of Hari. Even when we chant Hare, that's what's being referred to. She, even if it's referring to Radharani, she's stealing the consciousness of Krishna. She's stealing any type of misery in being in her separation, everything. She is the ultimate solution. That's what Hari means. In the previous verse, Sri Shukadeva Goswami has described how the foolish materially attached men are wasting their valuable time in the improvement of the material conditions of life by sleeping, indulging in sex life, developing economic conditions, and maintaining a band of relatives who are to be vanquished in the air of oblivion. Wow, he's being pretty tough, right? How much of what we do, we spend our whole life in this way. Sleeping, indulging in sex life, developing economic conditions, and maintaining a band of relatives who are to be vanquished in the air of oblivion. Being engaged in all these materialistic activities, the living soul entangles himself in the cycle of the law of fruitive actions. This entails the chain of birth and death, and in the 8,400,000 species of life, the aquatics, the vegetables, the reptiles, the birds, the beasts, the uncivilized man, and then again the human form. These are the different types of, like barbarous people, even, there are some barbarous people even in here in Syracuse. They're not going to be on the platform of humans. There's no, if you go downtown and you try to talk to somebody about some of these higher topics of life, you just realize some people, they're not going to get it. That's what it means, like the uncivilized. They're actually like a lower species, unfortunately, because of the cycle of karma and birth and death, the cycle of fruitive action. So anyhow, and then again the human form, which is the chance for getting out of the cycle of fruitive action. So that's what the human form is good for. You have the chance to get out of this miserable cycle of being bound in these, coming in this material world. So therefore, if one desires freedom from this vicious cycle, then one must cease to act as a karmi or enjoyer of the results of one's own work, good or bad. One should not do anything, either good or bad, on his own account, but must execute everything on behalf of the Supreme Lord, the ultimate proprietor of everything that be. So he's telling you we should not do anything good or bad. What's good? What's another name for good? Good activities. No. That's the ultimate good. No, but what is the basic good? Pious is, yes. Pious is what type of activity? Dharmic activity. Dharma. That's why Krishna ultimately says sarva dharma and pratyajya. You have to also give up the good. It's an anartha to get attached to the pious activities of this world. It's an obstacle. But, not that we should, and if you do them, you should only do them to set a good example unto others. But you should never think that this is more important than, I have to be engaged in my, like, for instance, I know some people here who they might prioritize going and feeding the homeless people. And you're like, what are you saying? Feeding the homeless people is good. Feeding the homeless people is fine. It's fine and just fine. Why? Because you're not really solving you're not really giving them a real solution. You're just giving them a temporary solution to, they're also going to be, what did Prabhupada say here? Vanquished in the air of oblivion. So what, you've prolonged them being vanquished in the air of oblivion? What is really helping the homeless people? See if you can perform some kirtanam to them. Meaning, try to glorify the Lord. Give them a real solution.
Or if you're going to feed them, make sure it's prasadam.
Yeah, or feed them prasadam. But even Prabhupada, he didn't like, I heard this from Jayadvaita Swami, who is, Param Brahma is coming this week. Did you know? Did I tell you? Yeah, so Param Brahma is coming this week. And his Shiksha Guru, or the Guru actually of his Diksha Guru, is Jayadvaita Swami. And I once heard from Jayadvaita Swami, who was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, that Prabhupada actually didn't like just prasadam distribution. He never liked to just go out and give them prasadam. He said let them come first and hear kirtan and hear philosophy and then give them prasadam. Why? Because that's what's really going to help them. The prasadam will help us also. It's a transcendental process. But what's really good, the main thing that they need to get to, and even if it's just your relatives and things like that, yes, give them prasadam. But what they really need to hear is some kirtanam. That's where hopefully the prasadam, that's when it's fructifying, when they can get to the point of being able to hear about Krishna. Whether it's even his holy name. Like we give in our relatives so much prasadam over the years. Every time they come there, I try to stuff them as much as possible. But when I really saw the fruit coming is when I watching my dad's very interactive in the classes and things like that, which was very good. And then, but my mom was like, but I really saw the fruit of how, the effect of prasadam is when I watched my mom holding my son, and she's looking at a book I gave her, he needs to chant the Hare. I was telling her he needs to chant the Hare Krishna mantra to go to sleep. So I'm telling her this. So she's down there, Prabhupada's chanting in the room. I'm finishing the offering, and she's like, Hare Krishna, Hare. She was mixing up some of the like Krishna Hare. She's mixing up some of the words, but she's singing it to him. And I was like, wow, just see how like the perfection of like all this prasadam is coming over the years. Now some kirtan is happening. She's chanting the holy name, and she's just sitting there chanting the holy name to Abhiram. How wonderful. But this actually we should also understand the progression. But yes, not just trying to do, we have to give up being a karmi. And being a karmi can also mean being a good dharmi. This is all for fruitive actions. I have to do good. Why? Because if I don't do good, this is punishable in the scriptures, and I really don't want to be inconvenienced by going to hell or getting bad reactions. We have to also understand, this is like every especially the Indian crowd here, everyone who comes here are always very dharmic Indians. I never see, someone who's attracted to this, they're not going to be a-dharmic. Usually the dharmic people, they have a better chance. So it's not that dharma should be neglected. We just went through all of Ram Leela, which is establishing dharma. But what does dharma purify you and make you available to do is understand Bhagavat dharma. If that doesn't happen, then actually all of your dharma is wasted. It's an anartha, actually. It's an obstacle to the real progressive value of human life. So we have to understand that, actually. That dharma isn't the actual worldly dharma. Varnashram dharma is not a solution in itself. That's why Lord Chaitanya, when Ramananda Roy, he proposed this as to what a human being should do, Lord Chaitanya rejected this. He said, no, more. And then he said, you should be a devotee of Vishnu. No, more. And then he starts telling about, the glories of Krishna. Then he starts telling the glories of, bhakti, actually. And he's saying, even no, more. And he starts progressively going through all of the stages of bhakti. And then finally he was satisfied when he finished with the service of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. But we should understand the process. So anyway, where are we? You must cease to act as a karmi or enjoyer of the results of one's own work, good or bad. So even to think you're the doer, I do pious activities, I do impious activities. What you should do, what has Guru ordered me to do, I'll do that. This is how you become free from that. This is the difference between karma and bhakti. Anything that you're becoming the doer of, this is karma, on the platform of karma. It might be karma yoga, and you're offering it to Krishna in some way, but it's still karma. You must be free from it. That's why Rupa Goswami, he says, Karmi vyaparito hare priyataya vyaktimya yogyaninas. He's saying even more dear than the ones who are practicing karma in this world are the jnanis. Those who realize that karma should not be practiced and to give up. They're detached from the karma or the worldly results of this world. But then he starts talking about tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti parama. And then he says, premaika shnistastata. Above those are the jnana vimuktas, or those who are completely liberated in their jnana and they understand bhakti parama. Bhakti is the topmost thing. And then he says, premaika shnistastata. And even greater than them are those who are fully nishta in prem, one-pointed prem, and they're fully fixed on love for Krishna, 100%. So this is where we have to go. We have to give up karma, and then we have to even give up jnana. And then we even have to give up the even being liberated in jnana. And this is ultimately where we're trying to go. But anyway, let's start with basics here. He says, but must execute on everything on behalf of the Supreme Lord. Give up karma and do everything on behalf of the Supreme Lord, the ultimate proprietor of everything that be. This process of doing work is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 9:27. Also, where instruction is given for working on the Lord's account. You know this. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yaj juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurushva madarpanam. O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. This is very nice. Parth, maybe you can do this for one of your Bhagavad Gita classes you're doing with your friends. This is should be understood. Also, where instruction is given for working on the Lord's account. Therefore, one should first of all hear about the Lord. What's everyone's first duty? Hear about the Lord. Not making pancakes. Hearing about the Lord. Yes, it's good to make pancakes for the Lord, but that's not your first duty. First duty should be to situate yourself to hear about the Lord. Every other thing that you're doing, it's useless if you don't hear about the Lord suitably. When one is perfectly and scrutinizingly heard, one must glorify his acts and deeds. So perfectly and then scrutinizingly, with great detail. Once you've heard with great detail and exhausted all of your intelligence in asking questions, then you're ready to glorify his acts and deeds. Then that's what? Kirtanam. So without perfect Shravanam, you'll not be able to do proper Kirtanam. You have to do perfect Shravanam. So everyone, first duty is what? What is Prabhupada saying? Why do we prioritize any other thing? Tell me. Whether it's cooking for the Lord, deity worship, having your own home program and home practice. If we're not doing hearing, we are checking ourselves so deeply. The first thing that needs to be done is perfect and scrutinizingly hear. Then you can be properly situated on your services. So if you don't take time for hearing in your life, or you don't prioritize time for hearing, you're missing the point actually. This has to be done. So, first things first. Then one must glorify his acts and deeds. What you've heard you should share, because by sharing the perfection of what you heard, it's going to re-solidify it in you and then help others. And their advancement in bhakti will also help you advance in bhakti. And thus it will become possible to remember constantly the transcendental nature of the Lord. There is 2 rules to actually being in Krishna consciousness. To always
Remember Krishna.
and never forget Krishna. That's what Krishna consciousness is. You actually remember Krishna. He's in your consciousness. This is the only way to do it. You have to scrutinizingly hear and stop. You have to scrutinizingly hear, and then you have to share what you've heard. Then you'll be in perfect Krishna consciousness. So that's why I'm very happy that Parth is taking this step, and now he's engaging in a process of sharing with his friends and or maybe relatives. I don't know, but this is what we have to do. But first things first. What is Prabhupada saying? I mean, it's not just Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj. It's all throughout the Bhagavatam. Shukadev Goswami is just saying it. What do we have to do? I just said, you have to hear. You have to hear. You have to hear. You have to hear. If you're not hearing, don't think everything that you're going to do is so effectual, actually. You have to first hear. So, hearing about and glorifying the Lord are identical with the transcendental nature of the Lord. And by so doing, one will always be in the association of the Lord. This brings freedom from all sorts of fear. Abhayam. That's Prabhupada's birth name, Abhay. This brings freedom from all sorts of fear. The Lord is the Supersoul, Paramatma, present in the hearts of all living beings. And thus, by the above hearing and glorifying process, the Lord invites the association of all in His creation. So, hearing and glorifying. You can only glorify to the extent that you've heard. What you've heard, then you can then glorify and repeat to others. But you have to hear. The Lord invites the association of all in His creation. This process of hearing about and glorifying the Lord is applicable for everyone, whoever he may be, and it will lead one to the ultimate success in everything in which one may be engaged by providence. So if you just try to hear and glorify, you're guaranteed ultimate success. And Prabhupada's guaranteeing, and Krishna also is guaranteeing you'll get the ultimate success. There are many classes of human beings: the fruitive workers, the karmis, the empiric philosophers, the jnanis, the mystic yogis as well. You could say the jnana vimuktas maybe. And ultimately the unalloyed devotees. These are the premaika nishtas I was just talking about. For all of them, one and the same process is applicable for achieving the desired success. So no matter what you are, what's the process? 2 things he just said. No matter where you're at.
Remember Krishna and
How you remember Krishna.
Shravana.
Shravanam and Kirtanam. Hearing, glorifying. Hearing, glorifying. Hearing, glorifying. That's it. Everyone wants to be free from all kinds of fear. And everyone wants the fullest extent of happiness in life. The perfect process for achieving this here and now is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is uttered by such a great authority as Srila Shukadev Goswami. By hearing about and glorifying the Lord, all a person's activities become molded into spiritual activities, and thus all conceptions of material miseries become completely vanquished. The process. Which is what, Craig? What is the process? Shravanam and Kirtan. Yes, hear and glorify. So very good. So we'll end with another Bhagavatam verse that tells why fear is coming in the first place, and then you can know, okay, what is my problem? So Krishna, he says in Uddhav Gita, Bhayam dvitiya biniveshatasyad. Did I forget? Ishadapetasya viparyayo smriti tanmaya yato buddha abhajetam bhaktyayaka yesham gurudeva tatma. So this is why fear is coming in your life. Bhayam dvitiya biniveshata. Fear is arising. Why? Because we're absorbed in dualism. Dvitiya. So pretty much things of this, things separate from the Lord. This is why fear is arising. We're absorbed in temporary things. My job, my wife, my kids, my this, my that. And, we're absorbed in these things. The consciousness is everywhere. So naturally fear will arise if that's the case. Why? Ishad apetasya. The Isha, the controller, apetasya, we've turned away. turned our back on the controller. That's the real thing. We're not at all, the consciousness is not on Krishna. The main rule of Krishna consciousness is broken. Instead of remembering Krishna, we're forgetting Krishna and remembering job, remembering wife, remembering duties, remembering this, that, and the other thing. Not Krishna. So, what happens? Fear arises. That's the nature of dualism. It's a fearful situation. And we've forgotten what's really what. So, Ishara petasya viparya yosmriti means we've misidentified who we really are and what's really important. We've misidentified the actual value of life. So why? We've put it on family, wife, this thing, that thing, this thing, everything but Krishna. Smriti, asmriti. We've forgotten. Because we've forgotten, even though we might have heard it before. Yes, always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Everyone here has heard that before, right? But then we go home and we'll forget. And then we put our mind on something else. But this is why fear is arising in our life. This is why we have fearful situations. We're not actually surrendering to Krishna. We're not actually consciousness on Krishna. So what's the solution? Or why has this happened? Tan Maya. He's saying, for this, my Maya. My Maya's, my illusion, my illusory, ignorant potency is why this is happening, Krishna is saying. So what to do? Yato, therefore, Buddha abhajet tam. The Buddha means what? The intelligent person. The one is steeped in intelligence. Abhajet tam. What does that mean? Budget. Kind of. Is always engaged in service to me. Always worshipping me. The intelligent are always worshipping me. Bhakti, how? Bhaktiyaika yesham. In what? Bhakti, which is what? In devotional service, in devotion. Aika esham. What? Yes, with one pointed attention towards who? Well, that's the next part. Into the Isha, unto the Bhaktiyaika yesham, unto the Isha, unto that controller. How? Guru Deva Tatma. Through his form of Guru. Guru Deva, which is actually his divine form of Guru. Guru Deva Tatma, who's is one's life and soul. That's why it starts Guru Goshthe. Guru is the form of Krishna come to you in this world. And he's come in progressively advancing forms. He starts with everyone with at least a Vartma Pradarshika Guru. Someone who will show them the path. And then Krishna will reveal it to the degree of your sincerity of wanting to serve and to hear and to then also to share with others. Then you'll get access to higher aspects of Guru. Maybe Diksha, Shiksha, and so on will also come. So this is why fear is coming. We've turned away from the Lord. We're absorbed in dualism. We've forgotten our real, and we misidentified who we are and what's really important due to ignorance. And because we have a poor fund of knowledge, we don't know that the intelligent will worship the Lord fully, all the time. You don't need to actually do anything else. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. I was just hearing a story the other day. Nrsinga, he normally has a class on Saturday. I've invited most of the ashram members to join who wants to know more. And he was telling a story of a disciple of Srila Prabhupada named Mahabodhi. And so after Prabhupada left, he took Shiksha from Narayan Maharaj. And Narayan Maharaj was telling him this point: if you just sit and you chant 64 rounds, which is a lot, but if you just do nothing else other than chant 64 rounds, Krishna will maintain you. And he just couldn't, no way. If I stop going to work, who's going to pay my bills? I just can't, Gurudev, I cannot reconcile this. I just can't have faith in this. And Narayan Maharaj said, no. This is the case. If you just fully absorb yourself and engage in your bhajan, Krishna will maintain you. So he said, fine, I'll test it. I'll give 3 months to this and I'll test it. And I'll see, if something was up that he had 3 months left on the lease or maybe like that, or I don't know. But he said, I'll try. So he every day chanting 64 rounds, quit his job and just fully trying to, absorb himself in Krishna consciousness. And he said every time at the last minute, Krishna always came with some rare or bizarre opportunity that allowed him to maintain himself. Every time. And then he said, after those 3 months, I said, oh, this is the system. And then for years, ever since then, That's what he does. He maintains himself just by relying on Krishna's mercy, and every time Krishna comes through. Every time. You don't need to. We have faith in these other things, but actually, this is not where we should place our faith. The scriptures say otherwise. Krishna will always maintain you. This is the main limb of Sharanagati, or surrender. Goptritve Varanam Tatha. Krishna is your maintainer. He will never forsake you. If you engage in bhakti to him, why will he ever forsake you? But we don't have full faith. We have soft and malleable faith, so next thing you know, we get a little uncomfortable in life and no, I gotta go work, or I gotta go do this, and I gotta do a bunch of material activities, and next thing you know, the whole consciousness is absorbed in this place, and we forget Krishna. And waste our lives. So this is the problem, actually. But he will maintain you. Do not worry. You have nothing to fear, actually. There's nothing to fear. How wonderful. How wonderful. But how much faith do we really have in those words, Like this disciple of Prabhupada who's, I don't know, how am I going to pay my bills? You're telling me, I can't leave my job. He will maintain you even if you left your job. Even if no matter what you did, if you fully absorbed yourself in Krishna consciousness and you had a way to do it, does not matter. Krishna is now obliged. He becomes obliged. He says, and this is the last thing, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshamam vaham yaham. So one who's one-pointed in ananyas chintayanto, one-pointed in consciousness, mam, unto me, ye jana those persons who are properly paryupasate, properly worshipping me. This is Bhagavad Gita, by the way, if you don't know. Paryupasate, and then he says, Tesham, unto them, nityabhiyuktanam, who are always fixed in such a determination. I'm going to do my bhajan to you. There's no other considerations. I'm going to finish my rounds. I'm going to do everything. It's for you. Nityabhiyuktanam. Yoga, their requirements, their connection, their needs. Yogakshamam, he's like a kshatriya. He will protect it. He'll protect your needs. And vaham yaham. And he's like, I'll personally carry what you lack. You've heard this verse before. He'll protect what you have and carry what you lack. Never worry. Never think, I'm wasting my time in bhakti. I have to do all of my, my work. Or, I have to maintain my family. Or I have to do... No, you need to do bhakti and just watch what happens. Yogakshamam vaham yaham. This is the process here. Sarva dharman pratijit. Abandon all these other duties and just mamekam sharanam vraja. Surrender unto me. This is high level. So anyway, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Happy birthday, Madhav. I wish you all blessings to be able to further surrender to the Lord this year. We'll see what happens. And yes, let's all enjoy cake. Let there be cake.
Thank you.
So,
All kinds of cakes.
cake and cake.
All kinds of cake.